Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997, and I'm back this time with my review of the Diamond Select Alice the Madness Returns Alice figure. Of course, based on the game that came out, a couple of months ago. A very nice reimagining of the character. I've always been a big fan of the American McGee style Alice, and just absolutely beautiful. Well, that art's from the game, but it's also beautiful box art. And she comes with her Vorpal Blade, Pepper Grinder, Hobby Horse, and of course her base, which, as I recall, are all the weapons from the game. And what's great is you can actually see the Pepper Grinder's handle turning there in packaging. So on the back here you get a very nice picture of Alice. Down here the Card Guard and the Cheshire Cat. The other figures in Wave 1, of course, with the exception of Hysteria Mode Alice, which I had to order at my comic shop, but it should be in shortly. Down there, her read-up. If you'd like to read it, you can pause it and read it. So, enough said about the packaging, let's open her up. And here we have Alice out of packaging, and I've got to say I was really pleasantly surprised with this figure. Don't get me wrong, I expected great things from the beginning, but this really goes above and beyond the call. Stunningly beautiful detail, really surprising articulation, and nearly flawless paint apps. Now, the one issue I have gone into, and since this is going to be a mostly positive review, I'll say it now. She has a small bit of issue holding the Hobby Horse, as I'll show later. It's a very dense piece of plastic with some absolutely stunning detail on it. And I'm kind of afraid to... obviously, this hand's wider to hold the Hobby Horse or Pepper Grinder. I'm kind of afraid to warp this hand to help her balance it because it is kind of made for the Vorpal Blade. So... yeah, I mean, it's not like you can't get it to stand, it just takes a lot of doing. It's a very massive weapon, accurate to the game. Also the Pepper Grinder, which has got this great little pig snout. Very nice. She can hold that just fine. It's kind of awkward to get her to balance it, but, you know, she can. Last but not least, of course, what I'll have this version posed with, probably put something else with the Hysteria modes. Of course, you've got the Vorpal Blade. Some very nice blood splatters on the blade. It looks chipped and notched like it's been used. Very nice handle. So really great there. Alice, as I've already said, has some stunningly beautiful detail. A really game-accurate face sculpt. Of course, her necklace. Really nice detail on the dress. Really great on the blood spattering there. It doesn't look like, paint run or anything. It really looks like blood spatter, which is something a lot of companies fall prey to, is getting lazy when they try to do blood splattering. And also, we'll rotate her around here. Of course, her skull bow, which actually has some really nice detail they left unpainted, which I believe was game accurate, but it's got the teeth and the nose that could have used a touch of black paint to really make it pop. They've also, I'm really impressed with how they've done her hair. There's a lot of varying shades of brown to almost red, and of course black, and it's kind of a softer plastic. So, really great job there. So, zooming back out here. Alice has 4-foot pegs on her base, which is otherwise just a generic black base. That is because she does have some surprising articulation, so she can utilize any of those. Now, speaking of articulation, Alice is on a ball joint at the head, goes forward, back, and would do a full 360, tiny bit hindered by the hair. Arms, surprisingly enough, can go out. I thought they would only go forward and back. Do a full 360. Spin right there at the cuff of her dress, or at the bicep, I guess. They do feel a little frail, but that's because they're so thin, so just be careful when you're moving her around. Single joint at the elbow, spin right there, kind of mid-arm. Same for both arms, of course. Turns at the waist. Legs look like they would have a lot more articulation if the dress wasn't hindering them, but they, of course, can go forward, back, and out. Looks like she's... oh, I believe her knee joint is... yeah. Couldn't tell, but her knee joint is on the side here. Of course, knee joint. Also, she looks like she has a quadricep swivel. Turns at the quadricep. Single jointed knee. Then spins again at the boot. Very nice ankle joint, and I think... yep, a little bit of ankle pivot going on in there. Very nice. Also, great detail on the boots and all the buckles. Yeah, like the one spot of paint error I'm finding on this is right there, and you'll never be able to see that. So the American McGee's Alice figures, I found at my comic shop. Can't wait to get the rest of them. Might skip the Card Guard for now. I can get her on her base here. Let's try and get her Hobby Horse in the hand. Here. I believe it was $21.99 at my comic shop. Actually, let's prop this up on her shoulder. It's not really game accurate, but at least it's in there. And it really wants to make, with her ankles being so free moving, it really makes her want to fall at the base. So the hobby horse is an issue to get in her hands. It can be done, but you know, be prepared to maybe loosen up your figure or have her propped up against something. I keep wanting to say like resting on the shoulder would be a great way to do it, but she keeps rocking forward. Let's get the pepper grinder in there for good measure, which have her grasping that. See, it's really clearly more for the Vorpal blade than anything, but you know, how does she hold this in the game? It's been a while. You know, there's that at the very least. I know she holds it two-handed, so, and not that well at that one. Maybe that's the crank wouldn't warp the hand too much that the Vorpal blade's supposed to go in. So yeah. The weapon storage is really the weapons are really the one thing I have a gripe with, and they're beautifully detailed. The only real complaint I have with this figure at all is that she can't really switch them out, and let's be honest, most everyone is going to display this Alice with the Vorpal blade, you know, Hysteria mode. Now when I do her review, I might be a little more willing to warp the hand as to see what I can get in there, but absolutely fantastic figure. Like I said, about $21.99 at my local comic shop. That's about what she's running you online plus shipping. If you're an American McGee's Alice fan, you got to have this figure. She's absolutely stunning as far as articulation and sculpt. And that being said, this is JTrain997, and I'll see you soon, YouTube.